it don't matter where they join at, for real. I just want them to sign that paper and make this fight happen. I'm ready. Like I said, I'm ready to shut everybody up.
Jaron "Bouts" Ennis expresses absolute readiness to fight Vergil Ortiz Jr. anywhere, calling on Ortiz's team to officially sign the contract so he can silence his critics and prove he is the best in the world. Vergil Ortiz Jr. quickly responds with an icy coolness, making it clear that he has already agreed to the terms on his end.
We'll see. I've already said yes. I mean, that's all I can do, right? So we'll see. We'll see. It's really not up to me, I guess.
The tension spikes even higher when Ortiz releases a dismissive social media post aimed directly at his rival. He tweeted, "Yay, I'm sleeping, Jaron." By acting completely unbothered, he sends a chilling message that Ennis is not even a blip on his radar right now. Shifting his focus to the critics, Ortiz takes a sharp jab at the political side of the sport by questioning the recent matchups in the division. He boldly claims that real respect is earned inside the ring, openly dismissing the legitimacy of hand-picked opponents and paper titles.
Look, at the end of the day, people are gonna watch the fights, right? People are watching the fights. You can put a title on. They could have put a title on that last fight that Jaron had against I'm not sure. I don't want to disrespect him. I don't know his name, but they could have did that and said he was a champion. They also did that with Zayas.
Lima, yeah.
So it's just like there's no credibility behind those fights.
As the bad blood boils over, Ortiz embraces the intense rivalry and promises to do whatever it takes to come out on top. He openly welcomes the role of the villain in this saga, proving he is fully prepared to walk through fire just to silence his doubters.
I don't like that at all. I don't like it at all because this is my story. In my point of view, it's my story. In his point of view, it's his story, but I don't mind playing the villain if I need to in someone else's story because I know I'm a good person. I don't care about that. But I do understand what you're saying. That makes a lot of sense when you put it that way. I haven't thought about it like that before, but yeah, I didn't like that.
The champion's own trainer, Robert Garcia, immediately steps into the crosshairs to stoke the flames of this escalating rivalry. He guarantees that his fighter possesses the kind of devastating raw power that cannot be contained once the bell rings. If the opening presents itself, he expects a brutal and definitive stoppage that will leave no questions unanswered.
100% agree with Vergil. I think if Vergil is able to, fight Bouts and we were able to get those punches, I think it's over. I think Vergil is not going to hold back. Vergil has great, insane power at 154. So I think Vergil will finish him.
Diving deeper into the debate, the veteran strategist Garcia takes a calculated shot at the challenger's current standing in the sport. He questions whether a fighter who shows vulnerability under pressure truly deserves to be ranked among the elite pound-for-pound kings. In his eyes, greatness requires absolute dominance, not just surviving by the skin of your teeth.
Well, look, I think I guess it depends on who you ask. Pound for pound for me is a fighter that shows great skills, obviously, against the opponents that they're beating and the way they're beating them. Fighters that are in pound for pound list, you got to show that you belong there. You got to defend that position too. So I think Bouts is getting his way there, but I think this fight was more about fight of the year type of fight, not pound for pound. To be able to beat pound for pound, he should have dominated without getting hurt. No, he got hurt and came back, which is also one thing that fighters do. A pound for pound fighter could get dropped, but if he comes back and knocks his opponent out the way Bouts did, then that is, he's coming his way up there. So top 10. He could be up there.
Dismissing any rumors of hesitation or delay, Robert Garcia flatly rejects the idea that his camp needs a warm-up fight before stepping into the fire. He turns the tables by suggesting the opposition is actually the one looking for an escape route to buy more time. The message is loud and clear as they demand the biggest showdown possible without a single moment of hesitation.
No problem. We would do it. Look, I know Eddie mentioned something about maybe Vergil needs or is going to want a comeback fight. No, that's not the case. Maybe that's what he wants for Bouts. Maybe that's why he's trying to push that on us to try to get Bouts something else before that. But no, we'll go straight into that fight ASAP.
Boxing analyst Sergio Mora enters the mix to break down the sheer danger waiting for both men inside the squared circle. The former champion highlights how both warriors are highly vulnerable defensively because they constantly hunt for the knockout. It creates a terrifyingly explosive dynamic where both men are guaranteed to get caught cleanly.
Ortiz gets hit too. He gets rocked. He gets controversially knocked down as well. He would deny it, but the truth is there. We could see, we have eyes. Bouts is the same way. This is the type of fight with Bouts and Ortiz, when it happens, one of the biggest fights in boxing against two power punchers that are susceptibly defensively because they're so front foot. They go for the knockout. When you have knockout punchers, you're bound to get touched. The difference is Bouts rolls with the shots. He takes a little bit of the steam off the shots. He knows how to use his long frame and still dig to the body.
The analysis from Sergio grows even more ominous as it details what happens when the action descends into pure chaos. One fighter is known to flip a switch and become an entirely different beast the moment he gets hurt or dropped. This unpredictable and fierce resilience transforms the matchup into a genuine coin flip where someone is bound to get put to sleep.
Vergil, on the other hand, he'll get up after getting dropped, shake his head, and put it in another gear, in a meaner gear. That can work against a mean fighter like Vergil and run into shots, especially if you're buzzed. So when it does happen, hold on. It's going to be explosive. Someone's going to get knocked out. And I always pick a side, right, Mannix? I always say, oh, well, this guy's going to be the favorite. That's a legitimate 50-50 fight.
Calling out the classic games played behind closed doors, Sergio Mora demands that the talking stop and the ink finally hit the paper. He acknowledges that while both sides claim they want the smoke, the business of boxing always threatens to get in the way. Fans are left wondering if corporate greed will derail what should be a legendary clash.
Look, as much as Vergil's been talking, absolutely, sign the contract. As much as his promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, has been talking about that fight, make the fight happen. But we all know boxing, we all know the business, we all know that we want to squeeze in one more paycheck.
The stakes are raised to an absolute peak by Sergio Mora as the discussion shifts to what is truly on the line for both careers. With world titles and massive paydays hanging in the balance, there is simply no excuse left for the promoters to walk away. The stars have aligned perfectly for a massive unification that could define a generation.
Well, these
Take
guys,
the bird in the hand.
These guys are on the cusp of making a lot of money in one of the biggest fights of the year, and it'll be a unification. So the belts are on the line. So then, look, if the stars aligned and the promoters really want to make this fight happen, and everyone involved from the managers, then make the fight happen. The money's there, and it will be one of the biggest fights in boxing.
Stripping away the usual excuses that kill mega fights, Sergio Mora notes that the ideal location and the financial backing are already locked in. With Las Vegas waiting to explode and the hardcore fan base screaming for war, the pressure shifts entirely to the fighters. There are simply no roadblocks left to hide behind.
Well, normally it's the money that holds things up. Second, it's the location. I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Vegas.
That's a West Coast fight.
Vegas.
I know, I agree with you.
Yeah.
It's a West Coast fight. Las Vegas, 100%. You'll get the money, and you get the attention, you get the hardcore rabid fans. So what's the problem now? The money's taken care of. The location's taken care of. We have enough time. I agree with you. Make the fight happen.
Prominent media voice Chris Mannix weighs in on the terrifying offensive arsenal that both men bring to the table. While one fighter boasts the kind of devastating one-punch power that can end a night instantly, the other just proved he can break down elite opposition with relentless pressure. The debate shifts to who can actually absorb the other man's best shot.
You know, Vergil's the one saying all this, and I understand why he's doing it. He's saying, I'd sleep Bouts. Well, yeah, Bouts probably can't take those kind of clean shots from Vergil Ortiz, but at the same time, can Vergil take the kind of punches that Bouts was throwing at Xander? Xander took some huge shots. Bouts is a tremendous offensive fighter. I thought it was an A-level performance from Bouts Ennis.
Industry insider Chris Mannix highlights how the entire boxing world is now unified in demanding this specific battle next. Promoters, trainers, and the fighters themselves are all publicly echoing the exact same war cry. The momentum has become a runaway train, leaving the entire sport holding its breath for the official announcement.
In the days that followed that fight, we have heard from Oscar De La Hoya calling for Bouts versus Vergil next. We have heard from Vergil calling for Bouts against Vergil next. We have heard from Rick Meridian calling for Bouts against Vergil next. Pretty much everybody that's in the orbit of Vergil Ortiz, including Vergil Ortiz, Robert Garcia, add him to that mix. The trainer of Vergil says, let's make that fight next. Everybody on Vergil's side seems like they're ready to go.
Brushing aside any talk of ring rust, Chris Mannix insists that one of the fighters has stayed incredibly sharp and dangerous in the gym. He argues against any further delays, pushing for a date in late autumn before the window of opportunity slams shut. The fans have zero interest in seeing either man take a meaningless stay-busy fight.
I don't like this whole argument that Vergil's been off for a while. He fought in November, man. That was 7 months ago now. Like, he has not been off for a long time. And if you believe Robert Garcia, he's been in the gym. He's not sitting on his couch eating Cheetos and getting fat. Like, he is sharp and ready to go. I see no reason to believe. Boots needs a little bit of time off. That was a tough fight. But late October, early November, let's go. What are we waiting for? I don't want to see Vergil against... I don't even know. Who do you put him in with at 154 pounds that matters?
The financial reality of the matchup is brought under the microscope by Chris Mannix as he questions what could possibly be holding up the deal now, since the baseline numbers were already discussed months ago. Any hesitation now looks like posturing over percentages. The fear lingers that political games might ruin a fight that is already ripe for the picking.
Boots against Vergil back in March. Why wouldn't you be ready to make it right now? Like, you know what the money's going to be. You know how much it's going to cost. Now, maybe you've got to goose Boots a little bit, change the percentage a little bit, because Boots is now the unified champion. Boots is now coming off a big win like he had. But you know what the financials are. It took months, but Rick Meridian and Eric Gomez and Oscar De La Hoya seem to be on the same page on the pay scale of Vergil Ortiz. I don't want to see something weird happen.
Well, normally it's the money that holds things up.
Respected tactical mind, Coach Breadman breaks down the nightmare stylistic matchup, waiting for the favorite. He explains how short, compact combinations thrown directly inside the pocket could completely disrupt a longer fighter's rhythm. If the champion leaves any openings while loading up his shots, he will pay a devastating price.
I think stylistically to me, the hardest fight for Boots is Vergil Ortiz. That's my honest opinion. Vergil Ortiz. Boots got them long, kind of like gangly arms, right? And sometimes he load up a little bit, and Vergil Ortiz punch short and compact, right in the mid-range on the inside, right where Boots like it. And in exchanges, Vergil Ortiz, I don't think he's as fast as Boots for like combinations of punches, but I do think that if Boots is throwing single shots, that Vergil's short, compact punches can get there.
The veteran trainer Breadman issues a stern warning about the dangerous habits that could prove fatal in a high-stakes war like this. He points out that showboating, or letting your hands drop, will be instantly punished by an opponent who never stops firing from the pocket. The champion must deliver a flawless performance, or risk getting caught in the crossfire.
Because one thing Vergil do, Vergil don't play like Boots play. Boots sometimes put his hands down, he lean back, he do all kinds of stuff.
Roll the shots.
Yeah, Boots does a lot of stuff where Vergil kind of just stays in one place and just fires right from where he's at. So in my opinion, I still think Boots can beat Vergil, but I do look at that fight and say Boots got to really be on his A game. He cannot be doing all of that kind of stuff where that boy's just firing right from the point of attack. Right there in the mid-range, firing them short little uppercuts.
Malik Scott strongly maintains that Jaron "Boots" Ennis is a rare, once-in-a-lifetime talent, uniquely equipped to completely dismantle top-tier competition. He is certain that Boots operates on such a frighteningly superior level that even an elite fighter like Vergil Ortiz Jr. will look completely outclassed and amateurish by comparison.
I really believe that Boots have the ability to have the Roy Jones, Montel Griffin 2 type of performances, not just against guys of that quality, but even against guys of higher quality.
I do not think...
While drawing parallels to the iconic Roy Jones Jr. is typically dismissed as hyperbole, Malik Scott and Max Kellerman discussed whether this particular showdown could showcase that exact brand of era-defining dominance. The immense buzz surrounding the fight hinges on Boots delivering a performance so perfect that it utterly breaks a near-flawless rival.
I think he has Roy Jones potential, but I think Roy Jones at his best was the best I've ever seen.
Potential what Roy did to Montel in that second fight. Talk about performance.
Could do that to Vergil Ortiz?
I think guys that's great and good. That's all I'm saying, Max. Guys that's good. I don't think he could do that just to guys at that level. I think there's fighters out there that's considered almost great, above good, that Boots can do that. So I think he's that special.
Former opponent Serhia Bohachuk, who has actually felt the power firsthand, steps forward to offer a chilling reality check. He admits to previously underestimating the challenger, only to discover just how incredibly strong and difficult he truly is inside the ropes. His warning serves as a reminder that anyone facing this monster is in for the toughest night of their life.
You know, for me, I can say, because one time I make mistake, you know. I'm thinking before fight Vergil with Madrimov, I think Madrimov beat Ortiz. No, Ortiz beat Madrimov and maybe 9-10 rounds. I think maybe Ortiz knocking out him, really. And you know, Ortiz not easy. He can make big problem, Ennis. Really.
Yeah.
He not easy. He's strong boxer. Really.
Reflecting on the aftermath of their brutal war, Serhia Bohachuk explains how a grueling battle either breaks a man or elevates him to a scary new level. He believes the challenger took all the lessons from their war to fix his mistakes and evolve into a far more dangerous version of himself. The version waiting in the wings now is stronger than ever before.
You know, I think he out of fight with me, he's stay better. Boxing it's interesting sport. Every fight, every good fight, every good sparring, quality fight, you up, When you have fight with the backs, you don't have nothing. You go down. When you have good fight, for my secret, this is I everything. One fight, one sparring, one with the best. With the best, you up. And after fight with me, Vergil, he have very strong fight for him, really. After this fight, you broke or you up. You have two choices, I can broke him or he is...
I did a full work on my mistakes.
Yes,
looked at my mistakes.
Yes, full work on my mistakes and up. Vergil make full this and up, really up. He's better, much better.
Former unified champion Errol Spence gives his ultimate seal of approval to the blockbuster matchup, acknowledging that the fight is a complete toss-up. He highlights how rare and exciting it is to see two undefeated young killers willing to risk it all at the absolute peak of their youth. No matter who wins, the fans are guaranteed an unforgettable classic.
Ortiz and Bouts. I don't know. It can go either way. They both excitement for them to fight at this younger age. It'd be a great fight.
Abdallah Mason steps forward with exclusive, first-hand insight into their private sparring sessions. He delivers a captivating tactical analysis, explaining that this highly anticipated showdown will ultimately be a high-stakes collision between devastating one-punch power and elite defensive mastery. A battle where the slightest error will prove fatal.
Yeah, I've been in camp with Shakur and Haney. Well, I've been in camp with Shakur. I sparred Haney once. Everybody, boxing determined that. Shakur, everybody knows he's the most technical. Javante got power. Devin Haney can box. So it just depends who does the best job, who does what they're good at. Against their opponent when they step in there.
Trainer Abel Sanchez expresses frustration with the prolonged public bickering between the two sides, warning that the delays are draining the fans' excitement for a fight that might never happen. He adds that while Jaron "Bouts" Ennis has other avenues to prove his talent, his current resume still lags behind the sport's top fighters.
That fight I think is once it gets made, I know that the more that you germinate, I guess, a particular matchup, I think that's become old for people. I think that's the BS behind it and all the stuff that's going on. It may not be as exciting and as looked forward to as people think. And it may not happen. The way that it's going right now with Oscar and Vergil and all that, Bouts has got other things that he can do that will give him the recognition that he's a good fighter too. But I don't think that his resume is as good as some of the other guys we're talking about. But I think that it's getting old, man. The fighting, the bickering, and all that BS is getting old for me, anyway.
With both camps trading massive verbal shots and the entire boxing landscape demanding a showdown, the momentum behind Jaron "Bouts" Ennis versus Vergil Ortiz Jr. has officially reached a fever pitch. Stylistically, it is a pure 50-50 war that promises absolute fireworks, leaving the promoters with nowhere left to hide. Will corporate politics derail this generation-defining unification, or will the ink finally hit the paper? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Who leaves the ring as the undisputed king of the division, and does it end by a brutal knockout?